Hey everybody, it's May 25th, 2021. I'm Chris and this is Tilly, and this is the Coffee Fueled Woodsman channel. Realize I've probably never done an actual intro. We're out for a couple of nights in the Ingraham Wilderness area, I believe it's called, in one of the many lakes that are dotting up through here. It's going to be a fishing, camping, sort of eating trip. I've brought everything I own. I even brought a cooler to make my buddy Dave proud of me. And yeah, we're going to be living pretty casually out here. There's no real portages to speak of. I just got to drag through maybe a tiny little run through, kind of in between two lakes right where I am now. I didn't do my usual filming from shoreline just because there was someone fishing, and he actually caught a pretty decent trout just as we were coming through, so I had a little chat with him. Now, if you know me, I'm not really about the fishing. I'm more about getting to camp, setting up, and just enjoying time around camp. The bugs are out. I'm seeing some black flies. I pulled one tick off Tilly, but overall it's pretty good. It's quite windy. The lake that I'm going to be going into is a long, straight channel, and the wind's coming from the south, so I have a feeling we may battle that a bit. But we're just on the hunt for a campsite. Good girl. Well, Tilly and I found this really potential little campsite. That would be the view. That's going north on the lake, and then it runs in a long straight line, and that around the corner would be south. I think we're probably going to head and check for another spot though, just because we've got lots of time. It's only 12:30, but yeah, like this is full of little maples and birch, and this is kind of an all clear area. If I want to set my hammock up though, I mean, I've got this one big pine. I'd probably have to clear a tree or two out to get the hammock under. So if I want to set up here, I have to be back. There's a big rock there. Just to the left of that, there's a couple of trees. So I'm not really sure, but it is a nice site. So anyway, we'll probably get back in the boat, go and search. Look at this one. Playing with sticks in the water. Did you get them? Yeah. Yeah, on the hunt for a campsite, and to be honest, I am super happy with what I'm seeing right now. We found a little cove. It was pretty windy, then the wind's coming from the south. So this is the sheltered side. I'm just going to turn you around. Apologies if it's off-centered. And this is going into a little cove up that way. Oh, and a fish just jumped right there. Yep. This dead ahead is actually looking pretty good, because on the opposite side of that was dead ahead of me is another part of the lake. But there's enough trees here that we're sheltered. So okay, so the search is definitely over. Johnny is the one who told me about this lake. He's been here before, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is where he set up, because he always has a tent. But just going to show you, that was my view, and this is the area. So I've got all big pine trees, which is exactly what I wanted. There's a slight breeze coming through, maybe just enough to keep some of the flies down, which would be perfect. We've got a nice space here in the center. There's no widow makers, i.e. no real danger of branches falling on me if the wind comes up. And you can't see it, but just not very far at all through there that's kind of clear, because the lake is just over there as well. So the pup will have a good spot to swim. I've got a great spot if I want to sit out there and drink whiskey, or I actually brought a couple of beer with me. And I think I'm gonna make a fire for sure And I'll probably make it down on that rock right there because I don't want to have to worry about the ground's feeling pretty dry, and that's something I don't want to worry about today. But my goodness, look at my view. Whew. Well, Tilly and I have not had anything to eat yet today, so it's time for that. There's trout jumping right off the shoreline here. So today and for tomorrow, I always make a sandwich. It's just easier. Just that this is stuff for pizza toppings. I just decided to throw it in the sandwich. Actually, I fancied it up with a little bit of brie and some of my mother's homemade dill pickles. Tilly's going to get a little bit of it too. Hey, Pupper. Hey? Oh, God. Is this what you want? Is that what you want? Okay, okay, okay. Come on, let's go down to the water. Come on. Really? I've got a new, only a couple of pieces of different or new gear that I haven't had in the past. And one of them is a 50-liter dry bag, which fits perfectly inside that 75-liter Fall Raven backpack. It pretty much fills almost the entirety of the main compartment, and that's with it rolled down. However, there's still a little bit of extra room at the top, which I put my waterproof clothes in because it doesn't matter if they get wet. The only thing that wouldn't be waterproof is obviously the bottom part where my sleeping bags go. I mean, I can put them in something else as well, but for the time being, and I knew it wasn't going to be rough water or anything like that, or I guess it wasn't too bad. I just risked it out, and it's so warm. My shirt, which is hanging behind me there, actually, I had it on the boat when we first started, and it fell right in the water. So it's pretty much dry, and we've only been paddling for about 2 hours. So.
And he goes to the highway and stands there and the mail comes through, and the mailman is old, but he's
Okay, so I'm realizing that I'm feeling pretty dehydrated. Didn't really drink much this morning, didn't have any breakfast or anything. It's 2:30 and paddling and the heat took it out of me a bit, so I gotta make a coffee to rehydrate a little bit. So I got my water already, and I just use my cheap firelighter ferro rod because the one Garland made me is deep in the backpack at the moment. But I'll get it out in a bit. I'm gonna end up cutting wood around here eventually. Not very much. Probably just do branches and stuff for a fire tonight because it's so warm. I'm not going to need anything special, and it's not going to take much. Tonight I've got pizza, which I've never made before in the woods. I've got my crock pot. So what I'm going to plan on doing is build a fire, which I guess I should start doing that before too much longer. And then I'm going to get coals and put on the lid of the crock pot to cook the pizza from the top down. Make it more like an oven, like the Dutch oven is going to be an actual oven this time. So looking forward to that, except for I cheaped out on the dough. And I'll show you what I got. I got some stuff right from some ready-made crusts from Sobeys that are already basically baked. They look kind of like cardboard, but Tilly and I aren't going to care. This time I've decided to make everything so the dog can eat it. I love onions on pizza, but dogs apparently are, I don't know, deathly allergic to onions and garlic and things like that. So I've left all of that kind of stuff out. What are you doing? Tilly, what are you doing in there? So I have been out somewhat recently. I went on a fishing trip down to Eagle Lake with my buddy Dave. Didn't film anything, which kind of was good. We just had a good time playing guitars with his buddy Kenny, and you know, having a good time in an old, almost rundown cabin, but it was a lot of fun. But Claire and I were out with the dog and the canoe not so long ago until he ended up eating something. We think coyote feces or something like that. Anyway, she ended up being deathly sick. We had to take her to the vet twice. It cost us about, I don't know, $800 by the end of it. All they really ended up giving her was anti-nausea medicine, and what was the other? Well, we had to do some x-rays because she kind of went lame a little bit, but she bounced back as she always does, and hopefully kind of keeping an eye on her. Hopefully she'll have no issues this time, because I don't want her not want to go out in the woods too. Like if she has bad experiences, dogs kind of don't forget stuff like that. So I'm hoping she'll still want to come out on these trips, but so far it seems that way. She's been happy and bouncing around and just being her normal silly self. I didn't bring my mic with me. We decided we'd just come for a walk, explore what's right around the campsite. Can't really see me. Happened on basically our camp's just through the trees that way, and obviously this side of the water is where everybody always sets up their own camps. So it's not great. All right, so we're back from the other side. There's the wood that I scavenged, but I took their can of beans and molasses, so that's payment for me cleaning up after stuff. There was a rubber boot there too, but I didn't bring that. Tilly and I have decided time to get into the Hawkins cheesies. Real Canadian cheddar. You can tell by the orange color. Very natural. Huh? You see her little head? Well, with the wind being what it is, I don't really want to take Tilly in the boat, especially since we'd be leaving all of our ballast behind. So we're gonna start cooking supper now, as opposed to going out and fishing first. Hi, Pupper. As opposed to going fishing first. Once that's done, stay away from the fire. Once that's done, I like cold pizza anyway, so I think I'm gonna make a fairly large amount, and get out of there. As you can tell, the black flies are still pretty bad. I think I'm going to make a fairly large amount, and we can have some leftovers too, and if that ends up being the case. I've got to cut them to the size of my crock pot. So my crock pot's about that big. We're burning down the fire now just to get the coals, because I need to be able to lift coals up on top of the crock pot. I didn't bring my really good Costco gloves, because with those I could actually grab coal and put it on top. So I'm going to have to figure out some kind of shovel, I guess. But that won't be too hard. I have a feeling it's going to be a couple of sticks and drop it on top. And everything's going to be cooked right out there. So it's going to be pretty nice. Tilly just alerted me. A couple of loons coming to check us out. Shh, shh, shh. Don't scare them. Okay, so this is the crappy Sobeys pre-made crust. I say crappy, it might be good. It's obviously, it comes with pizza dough too. There it is. It's obviously a little too big for my Dutch oven, so I'm going to use the top to measure off how big I need to cut it. I think I'll just cut around with my Mora. No, I don't want to damage my knife. So this is going to be rather weird. Nope, leave it. Okay. I didn't bring oil, but I did bring butter. A tiny bit of butter in the bottom of this pan. Now this is a well-seasoned cast iron anyway, but just in case, pizza cheese, sauce, red pepper, and mushroom, because the dog can eat both of those. And then just, it says pizza topping, whatever. It's just salami, ham, and pepperoni. Well, it happens pretty much every trip. There's always something that breaks or goes missing or something happens to it. Unfortunately, this time it was my stand sport stool, a little folding stool I've had on many trips. It did say it had a 200-pound weight rating, or 185 pound, and it looks like maybe, I think I'm about 205 right now. Just snapped off right at that binding. I thought this was going to give way. I've showed that before, how it's fraying and getting thin. I was like, ugh, one of these days that's going to give out. I didn't realize the leg was going to, so that's too bad. That served me well. And they're ultra light, and the worst part about it is that I ordered it on Amazon only for like 21 bucks, but it took 3 months to get here because it was out of the States, and Stansport just doesn't deliver to Canada, or I don't know. Anyway, it's unfortunate. Supper is on the way. I've set a timer on my phone just for 15 minutes to check on it, so that'll be about a 20-minute cook time at that point. I think really all I need to achieve is that the cheese melts, because the crust is already cooked, so it'd be nice if it was warm. I think what I've got going there is going to do it. I can see embers burning underneath, so I think it's going to be fine. We moved back into the shade. I was starting to heat up a little bit too much out there, and the sun's going to be coming down across, so that area where the rock is actually going to be more sunny as the day goes on, which is going to be ideal when it starts to cool down. And I'd say it's about 17-18 degrees right now, and hopefully it'll cool down to 10, because then I'm going to say goodbye to these stupid midgets. Now, they don't seem to be bothering the dog at all. I don't even see any like hanging around her. I swatted one on her nose and that was it. But I'll tell you, they like me. I might end up putting my shirt on just for sitting in here, because they are really buzzing around me now. Yeah, you got them? pretty good. Still doughy, so I think I'm going to leave it on for longer. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. These gloves, sorry, no leather left, thumbs. So right now I'm going to have some rehydration, some 9 locks, get the hell out stout. I actually meant to bring 2 IPAs, but this will do. Oh yeah, leave that. That's hot, pup. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Oh, come on. Ooh. There we go. Ooh. It's a lot of food for 2 little people, isn't it, pupper? Ooh, the flies are starting to get not great. And we should. The problem is it's so hot. When you sit right in the full sun, you roast. When you sit in the shade, the flies get you because it's not as windy in the shade. Well, it's cooked enough. Overall, it's pretty darn good. We're both really hungry, but yeah, we should have let Claire make us a nice crust. That's okay though. Here, no. There's lots here for you to like. Lots here for you to like. All right, supper's done. It wasn't amazing. It's okay. We needed good dough, and that would have made the difference. I could have maybe cooked a little bit more embers up. Cooked embers. I should have had the fire going a little longer with a little bit more fuel so I could put more on top and more underneath. It was definitely hot, but it just wasn't crispy like, you know, how bacon kind of goes on top of, kind of how bacon goes on top of pizza when you bake it in the oven. But it was still good, and we didn't eat all of it. We got 1 slice left. I only cut it into 4 pieces. It wasn't huge, but probably more than I should eat. I gave her quite a bit of it. Right now we're going to get out of these darn flies. I got a bunch of different bug dope options in here. I got egg curtains. I'm worried that smell's just going to blow away too quick. But then I got these things from Muskol, the green rings of death. I didn't want to burn them, but I think we're going to have to tonight. But we're going to go fish a little bit before it gets dark, and I'll be filming on the other camera just because I don't want to risk this one in the boat. Just her and I going. It's going to be a little bit more tippy without all the extra weight and stuff, and I'm going to be a little less careful probably this time of day. It's just a big rock. What? It's just a rock, hon. It's okay. Jeez. Oh hey, well Tilly and I came through those channels right there. It's a really interesting spot here. This is, I forget what this is called. I'll look it up and maybe I'll put the description near the bottom here. It's a cove. Anyway, it's super interesting up here. It's really, really windy where we are. The canoe is just there. I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not. Trying to get the audio recorder in a good spot. We got to go back through those channels, which I'm not really looking forward to, if I'm honest. But it's only 6:30. We got all the time in the world. I do have a line in the boat. If I have to, I could line it from shore, but I'd rather paddle it. It's just there's no weight in the boat other than Tilly and I, so probably have to sit right in the middle and just give her. Probably be no filming. Anyway, what a beautiful night. Long enough, do you think? Good girl. That was a difficult paddle out there. We didn't really go ever so far. We've only gone about an hour. But yeah, unfortunately when we got back too, we put the canoe up just down the way because it was a little better than this rocky shore. And we brought all the bugs with us. But we've been here for, I don't know, back for an hour or so. And pretty much had them all killed, but then I needed to make myself some whiskey, or bourbon I guess, and brought them all back. I've even got those green things burning. These things, they say you're not supposed to touch them with your bare hands, but I don't seem to be doing anything to the bugs. Anyway, we're going to sit here and try to enjoy ourselves. They seem to have gotten worse than they were. I mean, they always do that towards dark, so I'm hoping with the temperature dropping, they'll kind of go away. We'll see. We'll see what happens. The wind's just starting to drop a little bit now. The bugs are ferocious. If they're this bad tomorrow, it's supposed to be even warmer tomorrow. I'm not sure if we're going to stay a second night. We may just go paddle as much of the lake as we can, which is a pretty big lake. And if it's as windy as it was today, we may not be able to do as much of it as we want, which would be all of it. Tilly found a mouse. It's under this rock that she's at. She wants me to lift it. I can't lift the rock, hon. I can't do it. How we get him? Get him. Get him. He's in there. He's in there. No luck back there. I can't lift that rock. There's no way. I'm sorry. I wish I could. Think of that poor mouse. You want a cheesy? I knew that would get your attention. The flies may actually be slowing down. It's cooled off a few degrees though, so that might be the culprit. It's also 8:30, so, and my poor dog is so tired. Snuggled right in. Hey, gentle. Leave it. Leave it. So, oh no, that guy lost his eye. I don't want Tilly to bite the hook. Plus, hey, sit. Perch are spiny. You can see that spine on the back. Lift it up. Leave it. Yeah, can you see that spine? It's got spikies like a bass. So let's lay him down. Yeah. This is as zoomed in as this lens will get me. Since the flies have stopped, I may actually take the opportunity to play a little mandolin or something like that. The wind's still up a bit, but it's not. In this spot right here, we're really sheltered. So I don't think it's going to be an issue for us tonight. I don't even have my tarp out. We're not supposed to get any rain, although the clouds do look a little bit like they could. I guess worst case scenario, I could deploy it fairly quickly. It is above the tarp, or above the hammock. Just on my second gym beam of the night. for some reason I decided to try some Jim Beam instead of my usual Evan Williams. We're just going to sit down here and kind of, I guess she's going to snuggle. I'm just going to watch the water. And then I'll probably turn some lights on to sign off before bed. Alright, well it's 10:30 and Tilly's in her bed. Not sure if you can see her tent. And I'm in my hammock. So we're going to head to sleep. Bugs are completely gone. Loons kind of stopped making their noises, which is unfortunate. I always like to hear them. And we will see you in the morning. Hopefully the bugs won't kick in till at least 10 a.m. if we're lucky.